So we have been studying Yoga Sutra, one of the most advanced and beautiful texts that contains all the principles, including the practices of mindfulness and meditation. What we have studied until now, high mindfulness. So, mindfulness, do you remember, lives in only two states of the mind out of five subjective states. Now, see that if your mind is wandering, distracted, obsessed, lazy, you cannot achieve success in meditation. So, normally people say, I had a good sleep in meditation. Then you are not in meditation. So that needs to be clearly understood. So only two states. One, that you become a seeker, the mind turns inward. And in the second, the mind lives in the empty state of the mind. And that takes us to the second sutra, second formula, which says yoga is the emptiness of the mind. Now, see the difference. One way to go into meditation that you don't know swimming and you drown into an ocean. So, meaning that ego sense is lost, nothingness. That is what people talk from the Buddhism, nothingness, 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 no soul. One way. Second is you know the swimming. So now you drown and you come back and you have experienced and witnessed emptiness, nothingness, mindfulness state. But that is also not the end of the journey. You wait in that state so that your true nature reveals in the mind. We will talk about how the true nature reveals in the mind. And once it reveals, then what happens? The real self from behind the mind start working. Until now, before meditation, it was the ego sense, but now it is the real self. So no worries, all the worries comes to an end. That brings us to the third sutra, that in the highest state of meditation, we reveal our true nature. Why I say we reveal? Why don't I say I create? The true nature is not created, it is already within. It is something like that you have lost the key of the car inside the house. You don't create another key, you find it, you discover. Huh? So that is why we say the knowledge of the reality reveals in you. And what is that knowledge? That I am permanent happiness, that I am abundance, infinite love, that I am the wisdom. Once, but then we have come that how to get rid of these distractions. Do you remember? We talked about five group of thought pattern. All the millions of the thoughts we can divide into five types of thoughts. So that must come to an end so that this mind can reveal the true nature. Clear? Then we have come to the four formulas of the practice. Do you remember again? Can you recall? Abhyas Vairagya Abhyam Tannirodha. The steadiness of the mind means the mind is turning inward, it lives within, and dispassion means regular practice with wisdom helps us to succeed in meditation. What is the success? The third state of emptiness, where the knowledge of the reality is revealed within you. Until then, we have to continue the journey. You get a certificate, certification process. So now we went ahead, and in the last 2 weeks, we understood that what exactly is the practice and what is the dispassion. What is practice? What is the dispassion? So, dispassion is very important. So, I will make it easy. I covered little bit yesterday with Anne in a private session, so I'll cover that uh, with reference to the dispassion. So, what is that dispassion? First, understand what happens when the dispassion is achieved. Mind is pure. That mind has no likes and dislikes. It does not mean you lose taste of all the food. You enjoy it. But the mind does not crave for it. Do you see the difference? The mind doesn't crave for the likes and dislikes, profit and loss, victory and defeat, pain and the pleasure. The mind continues to live in the state of equanimity. And that mind continues to reflect the real self, means now you live in meditation, you work in meditation, you eat in meditation, you talk in meditation. Can I add? You fight in meditation also. But that fight is a play and a fun. You want to get the things done. So you shout, people say you are fighting, but you get the things done. It doesn't affect you. The impact of that anger is not there. Now, this master says, this is Sutra number 16. Tat param purushkhyatahi gun vetrasyanam. What he says, and that we need to understand clearly. First thing, you are listening to me, you understand it, and after that, keep these thoughts in your mind during the day. You are at home, at work, in the kitchen, in the restroom, anywhere, so that what happens? So that you can recognize that you are in a dispassion or you are not in a dispassion. Why? This formula says the highest level of dispassion in the mind reveals your true nature. We started with the practice, knowledge. Knowledge and practice both are required. Knowledge without practice remains in the intellect. It does not descend down into the heart, so that there is no change in our behavior and attitude. But practice without knowledge is like you sit, you board on a train, and the conductor asks, "Where are you going?" Forget about where I'm going. Here is the money, give me the ticket. Because without knowledge, you do not know the destination. So, same thing, the master says, I must be very clear about the destination through the knowledge. So now if you follow practice only without knowledge, what happens? That is very much prevalent in our society everywhere in the world. What happens then? Then you become a follower of a cult, of a dogma, of a religion. Do you understand that? Then the master says, no, only this you have to do. Here is do's, here is dance. And we have seen a lot of those challenges in our country and also in other countries. Knowledge and practice. Now come back to dispassion. Dispassion means the mind is totally free from attachment and detachment, likes and dislikes, pain and pleasure, duality, conflict, and confusion. But it is the nature of the mind. You will say definitely, what should I do? I look at you and your beard, I don't like it, I hate it. It comes naturally. For example, I know you don't hate, that's why you are attending my session, so I'm just saying that. What is that dispassion? So we have to go little deeper into the very nature of the mind. And once you understand the very nature of the mind and the dispassion together, why should I promise? All the masters promises that pain and the stress and anxiety and the duality will never touch you again. You transcend. So once you understand the very nature of the mind, one, and then you apply that knowledge into day to day life. Smartphone. I can take your picture, right? I can talk to you. I can take your videos, right? So this smartphone does not move from here. It stays here, right? And still I grab your image. I can talk to you. I can take your videos. And then what happens to my smartphone? It accumulates the images, videos, and the calls that I have made. Did you understand? About the smartphone now. This is the nature of the mind. This is what the mind is. Mind does not go anywhere. It's a wrong perception that the mind is wandering. Mind does not go anywhere. It is like the phone. I can take your picture even now. That is what the mind is doing now. My mind has taken all the pictures who are attending the session. Your mind has taken the pictures of all the people who are attending. It has created images. Do you understand that part? This is the nature of the mind. I don't, well, I don't want to take your picture. Phone will not take it. I don't want to take your call. I block it. Mind is our instrument. It has become our master. That is what, but why it has become our master? See the beauty of understanding and the knowledge and the wisdom that our masters teach us. Be very clear. I don't teach anything. I follow that tradition. That is the way this tradition continued for 6,000 years, and still it is continuing. Those who follow that tradition. So, two points come. The mind is an instrument and mind does not go anywhere. Clear? Mind does not go anywhere. It is like a phone. It takes images, it takes pictures, it takes everything. It takes your anger. And now tell me, if this phone takes a picture in which it shows you are angry, does the phone become angry? Tell me. But it is not so with our mind. We react. That is not the nature of the mind. But why we react? Because of likes and dislikes. Because of desire is not fulfilled. My expectations are not met. Hence, the mind, that is a phone, the smart instrument inside, becomes angry. Who is responsible? You become angry, but who is responsible if I become angry? I am. My mind is working on me. To drop this mind working on you leads you to dispassion. Are you getting it? My master taught me for about a year. I'm trying to compress it in a couple of sessions. And he used to teach for 5 hours every day. First is, just think the mind is like a smartphone. The smartphone does not become angry. This smartphone does not go anywhere. So mind does not go anywhere. Huh? Create the bullet points so that you can remember. The mind does not go anywhere. Third, the mind creates these impressions. Now, to facilitate this understanding at a deeper level, another example my master used to give, that my mind is like a mirror. By default, it is like a mirror. As we grow older, social conditioning, cultural conditioning, religious conditioning, etc., etc. And that conditioning conditions the mind, and we start behaving the same way. Mind is like a mirror. You stand in front of a mirror, what happens? Your image appears. Does the weight of the mirror increases when you are sitting in front of the mirror or looking, you see your image into the mirror? Does the weight of the mirror increase? Does the length and the width of the mirror increase and decrease? Does the color of the mirror increase or decrease? When you say no, that is the nature of the mind. Why we are not able to realize? Because we don't have dispassion. Can I become aware? Can I just emulate? Just start. The moment, Sophie, you look at your honey, see that it is the mirror, the image is appearing in the mind. But don't say, otherwise problem. So you have to say to your mind only, not to others. Otherwise there will be a problem. The other guy will say, I'm real. How the hell you see the image? But the mind presents the image, and that image does not increase any weight. No, now see that if the mind is like a mirror, you stand in front of the mirror. Does the mirror says, I like you, don't go away? You leave you go outside the range of a mirror, the mirror remains as pure as it is. Once we reach to that state, that is known as dispassion. Are you getting it? It is a knowledge practice. I have to live into that awareness all the time. when I start living into that awareness of the dispassion all the time, what happens? You have taken a leap. You have taken such a big step in the journey of meditation and mindfulness. So, if the mind is a mirror, John appears. Yes, very good. Let me talk. Sophie appears, disappears. Maid appears, disappears. Anne appears and disappears. It does not create any impression. That mind remains transparent. That mind living in the state of dispassion always lives, works, thinks, talks, eats, goes to the restroom in a meditative state. Are you getting it? That is the journey of meditation. So I'll give you narrate one story that I narrated to Anne yesterday. Mirror was discovered in Britain. 100 years back, an African guy went to Britain. He saw the mirror, he found the utility, he bought it. He took that mirror to his country. Married guy, his wife opened the luggage. Wife saw the image of a beautiful woman in the mirror. She was upset. Oh, that is why he went to the foreign country. Now I understand. We all have a problem of relationship in a different way. Anyhow, so she was totally disturbed and she ran to her parents' house along with the mirror to show to his dad, okay, this is a message about the mind. I don't know whether it really happened or not, but it gives you a clarity that how the mind can remain in the state of dispassion and how the anyhow. So for about couple of weeks, the daughter did not return to her husband, so her father was worried. Her father went to her room. He found the mirror and he saw the image of an old guy like me. So his father thought, oh, he left, she left. She has a liking for this old guy. That is why my daughter is in my house. What should I do? He also got this too. And one more step, the father's, the daughter's mother again looked into the mirror. I will teach my this old guy a lesson. Because she saw her image in the mirror. And she said, okay, at this age, he is in love with somebody else. Did you understand? Because there was no mirror there. So everyone saw into the mirror his or her own image and thought it is different. And after a few weeks, that same African guy went to the daughter's home and then he explained everything. This is the mirror. I'm not in love with any women. Where your stress goes away, where your anxiety goes. That is the power of dispassion. Did you get it? Did you get it? Now, create that instantly. Remind yourself of the picture whenever you have anxiety, stress, duality, conflict, jealousy, hatred, likes and dislikes in your mind. Remember this story, and you will realize how the mind cheats us, how the mind has made us its instrument. We have to make this mind our instrument. Mind is my instrument. The mind going through my tongue and the lips is speaking. Mind is my instrument. I'm lifting my hand. It is the mind has come here. I'm looking at you. It is the mind through the eyes has gone to you. Let it go. Let it work in the world outside like a mirror. Like it, and then see what happens to the mind. So we don't guide or teach just because of there is no principle, there are no concepts behind it. We have 100% clarity. Question is, are you a seeker? Are you ready to listen? Are you ready to find yourself? Then only the teacher comes out and speaks. Otherwise, we in this tradition always remain very happy. Okay, don't want to listen, thank you. You want to listen, thank you. Why? We can instantly see when you object to these principles, the mind is not acting like a mirror, but the mind got associated with the person, place, object, time, which is constantly changing. Nothing remains steady in the world outside. Mind does not want to realize this. Mind says, when we were dating, we were soulmate. After 10 years, you know, you are no longer a soulmate. You are now a sourmate. It is our mind. It is our mind. Because I want my soulmate should remain like a matter, remain steady, should say the same thing which he or she was saying at the time of dating. So your mind wants the other person should be like a dead matter who behaves. Huh? You keep the smartphone as it is, it will remain there. So our mind wants to convert in our relationship the other as simply an inert matter. Why? Because I expect, because I desire happiness outside. which is not there. So, what do you say? You desire happiness, you expect happiness outside, which is not there. This is what we say delusion. This is the name of the delusion. We are living in the world of delusion. Let me clarify this point and then we will do the practice. The world outside is not delusion. I create my own world of delusion through the mind. This world is reality. But if I say, computer, you should stay as it is even after 10 years, it will not. My honey, you should always behave the way you were behaving when we were dating. What about you? Did you not change? Mind doesn't see it. Delusion. See the point of delusion. So, this Eastern wisdom gives you clarity. It is not only the mindfulness, it gives you clarity of every thought, every speech, every action. And when there is a clarity and the wisdom supports your thought, speech, and action, how dare the mind can cause any stress and suffering? That is the power of meditation and mindfulness. Because you all have become seeker, so I'm going deeper and deeper and deeper. So let us start our practice now. Close your eyes.